My husband's first love gave birth on the same day as me. She secretly swapped our babies. In my past life, she took out her frustrations daily on my child. When exposed as an illegitimate child, she killed my baby to frame the legal wife, took the money, and whitewashed her reputation. Years later, when I'd painstakingly raised the child, she secretly did DNA tests to sabotage our relationship. Finally, after my car accident, the child I raised pulled out my oxygen tube herself. Post my death, my husband publicly married his first love. Now reborn on the swapping day, I switched them back. My baby will know love. Hers? Let's see what karma brings. Pain surged through me as I opened my eyes to sterile white walls. The daughter I'd devoted 16 years to, Lucy, turned out to be John and Bella's love child. That same girl had ripped away my lifeline. The phantom sensation of suffocation lingered, yet I'm reborn. Muffled voices reached me, "You can't do this. Do you want our daughter suffering stigma?" My mind cleared instantly, John and Bella conspiring again. Last lifetime, Bella swapped our newborns. She abused my child daily. When their affair child got exposed, she murdered my baby for insurance money while playing victim. John, you know I can't claim her publicly. Bella's saccharine plea floated through the door. Footsteps retreated before I could protest. Dizziness pinned me to bed. Memories flooded back, 16 years of parenting, only for Bella to take Lucy for secret DNA tests. After my accident, that brainwashed girl became my executioner. I'd never have known you weren't my real mom without those tests. Lucy had spat venomously. No wonder you were so strict. Die already so mom and dad can reunite. My ghost then witnessed their sick reunion, Bella cooing, my sweet girl helped reclaim my happiness as they embraced John. 3 months post-funeral, their lavish wedding erased my existence. Now reborn, I'll protect my true daughter. Nails digging into palms, I fought through grogginess. Bella already took my newborn. This room holds their affair child. Earlier lucidity let me photograph my real daughter, including the faint birthmark on her right heel. Evidence secured. As John took a call about buying ribs, I seized my chance. Mom says they're both asleep. I'll get ingredients. Bella's in bed 25, I'll bring her portion too. The moment he left, I snatched the imposter baby. At the nursery station, I feigned concern, "Could you check bed 25? The mother's unresponsive. The annoyed nurse's mutters covered my tracks. Bed 25's dead asleep with baby ignored, slipping into Bella's room. I swapped their hospital bracelets. Sweat drenched my gown as I clutched my true daughter. Verification complete, birthmark present. John returned, surprise flashing across his face. "Lillian, you're awake." "I got ribs to make soup." His guilty eyes avoided mine. Let him play chef. Soon enough, Bella will taste the poison she brewed. This time, the swapped child in her arms is her own. Let's see how she enjoys raising an affair baby in the shadows. Karma's serving revenge at perfect temperature. I picked up my daughter, gently stroking her little face, then turned to John. "Bella just had her baby too. Let's go visit her. We should bring some ribs, it must be tough doing this alone." John didn't object. As we approached Bella's room, we overheard her snarling through the door, "You little brat got lucky with your bloodline. But you won't live to enjoy it. My daughter will take everything meant for you." I pretended not to hear, knocking just as frantic shuffling erupted inside. The hospital room looked ransacked. The newborn lay uncovered in her bassinet despite the winter chill. "So this was how you treated my child in our past life? Now your own flesh and blood will endure your cruelty." John steadied me as I sat down. "Bella, Lucy wanted to check on you." Her gaze burned into John's hand resting on my shoulder. "How kind," she simpered, adjusting her gown. "You're so blessed to have John caring for you. Not like me, delivering alone." I squeezed John's hand, forcing sweetness into my voice. "John's taking a month off for my maternity leave. He handled every nighttime feeding, see those dark circles?" I brushed his cheek tenderly. Behind me, fabric ripped as Bella clawed her bedsheet. "After John took our daughter, I approached the shivering infant. New mothers need help, I chided, tucking the blanket snug. We'll let you rest. John's making his famous short ribs tonight. Outside. I pretended not to notice their exchanged glances. Muffled sobs followed us down the hall. Once John left with the baby, I doubled back. Through the door came pitiful whimpers and Bella's venomous whisper, "Think your grandma came to save you? You're mine to handle." The infant's feeble cries mirrored my daughter's fate in another lifetime. Now your child will learn true suffering. At the postpartum center, I claimed the sweet I'd denied myself before. Last life. I'd cancelled this reservation to please my penny-pinching mother-in-law. Only for John to give our spot to Bella. This time, luxury memory foam cradled my back as Bella moved in next door days later. Her generous benefactor visited often, a silver-haired man I recognized from society pages. Through my cracked door, I filmed their latest tryst. "When will you leave that hag?" Bella purred against Chad's chest. "I've given you the daughter you wanted." "Patience," he murmured, glancing nervously down the hall. Their goodbye kiss tasted staged. The moment his elevator descended, Bella wiped her mouth with theatrical disgust. My anonymous text blast included security footage timestamped with hotel records. At dawn, Lillian stormed in with 6 bodyguards, her Valentino stilettos cracking like gunshots through the lobby. "Evict Bella immediately." The manager fluttered paperwork. "MS. Read. Our cancellation policy? I own this building's mortgage." Lillian's diamond rings glittered as she snapped fingers. "Move her trash or I'll revoke your lease." Chaos erupted as staff scrambled. From my doorway, I watched Bella's face blanch before she slammed her door. Lillian's Louboutins clicked toward destiny, this time armed with bank statements instead of naivete. Karma's wheels turned faster with proper lubrication. "Bella, if you don't open this door, I'll expose all your dirty laundry right here in the hallway." Lillian signaled her assistant to explain to the crowd that Bella was the other woman. The growing murmurs of spectators finally forced Bella to open her suite door. I slipped inside and steadied Bella's arm. "Don't worry, Bella. I've got your back through this mess." Lillian stormed in, cutting straight to the chase. "Bella, I heard you squeezed out a brat for my husband and now want him to dump me." Bella scooped up the infant with smug satisfaction. "Since you already know, this is Chad's miracle baby. He's always dreamed of raising a little princess." She thrust the swaddled bundle toward Lillian. "See how she's got Chad's nose? He can't stop cuddling her whenever he visits." Lillian's assistant bristled. "You home-wrecking skank. Mr. Cooper would never leave Mrs. Reed for some bastard child. Divorce papers don't matter when I've got Chad's heart." Bella purred. "When's the last time he touched you?" "Even during my postpartum recovery. He preferred cold showers over your bed." As Lillian lunged, I wedged myself between them. "Last time this happened, that baby ended up dead with no witnesses. Mrs. Reed, however wronged you feel, that child's innocent. You think I'd harm a squalling mistake?" Lillian scoffed, though her manicured nails trembled. "This illegitimate creature will never see daylight." Bella's laugh turned shrill. "Watch that bastard claim her inheritance. Too bad your faulty uterus only popped out one air before conking out. Chad and I'll make a whole baseball team." I interjected urgently. "Bella, demand a paternity test. Otherwise that inheritance talk's just hot air." The color drained from Bella's face. "Why bother? Of course she's Chad's. My lover's healthy as a horse, he'll live to 100. Prove it. Make his wife eat crow." I pressed. "Nothing says true love like DNA results in divorce papers." Lillian's eyes narrowed. "Fine. Let's test this. If it's really Chad's spawn, I'll handle the brat's upkeep. But you," her venomous glare at Bella promised retribution. She snapped at her assistant. "Call the mobile DNA lab. And drag Chad here." Bella panicked when the testers arrived with Chad in tow. The middle-aged man shuffled toward his wife like a scolded puppy. Lillian shoved him aside, barking orders to collect samples. "Stop stalling," Lillian hissed at her husband. Your swimmers were too weak for natural conception when we did IVF. Suddenly potent enough to knock up this gold digger? Chad's bewildered gaze met Bella's theatric pout. As technicians swabbed cheeks, Lillian forced Chad to cancel Bella's luxury suite reservation. Chad. Don't. Bella clung to his arm. But he shook her off, scurrying after Lillian's stilettos. Left holding her baby in the lobby, Bella flushed under staff inquiries. Ms. White. Shall we arrange transportation or book a standard room? The crowd jeered. Rich mistress can't afford postpartum care? Should have saved those affair dollars. Bella's hands shook as she produced platinum cards. Each declined. The receptionist's polite "perhaps you selected the wrong card?" morphed into awkward silence when every payment failed. What's happening? Bella whispered, staring at deactivated accounts. Chad had clearly cut her off. Hearing a familiar voice, I turned to see John striding toward Bella with visible concern. Bella can't pay her accommodation fees anymore and has to move out, John said, casting a questioning glance at Bella. She smoothed her hair and blinked innocently. John. There's been a small emergency. I can't cover the fees right now, she replied, briefly glancing at me. I pretended not to notice. Could you help me, John? Bella pleaded. John looked between her pitiful expression and me before guiding her to the lobby sofa. I'll cover whatever Miss White owes, he declared. I stepped forward. Honey, are you paying Bella's fees outright or loaning the money? Bella interjected hastily. Lucy, this is just temporary. I'll repay everything after my postpartum recovery. Fine, I said. But you'll sign an IOU. She hesitated, glancing at John. He protested. That's unnecessary among friends. I handed her paper and pen. Friendship and finances shouldn't mix. Onlookers chimed in, signing's reasonable. Trying to freeload? Pathetic, flirting for free stays under the wife's nose. Flushing. Bella scribbled the IOU and thrust it at John before fleeing to her room. I pocketed the document as John opened then closed his mouth under my icy stare. 3 days later, crashes erupted from the neighboring suite. You lying bitch. Chad's voice boomed. Squandering my money and cuckolding me? DNA results had arrived. Chad. Your wife must have bribed the lab, a slap cut her off. I watched the sample collection. This is the most reputable clinic. Furniture crashed as Chad's men wrenched cards and keys from Bella. Consider the broken arm punishment for betrayal, Chad said coldly before leaving. The postpartum center staff bandaged Bella's arm while she refused police intervention. Cradling her daughter, she whispered, Mommy will avenge your past life slowly. Despite injuries, Bella continued lounging while staff handled childcare. Returning home, I found Mom tidying our house. She took the baby so I could rest. But mother-in-law's voice soon interrupted, stay as long as needed. Bella. I'll cook hearty meals daily. I emerged to find Bella eating my mother's prepared fruits while mother-in-law cooed over her child. What's happening? I demanded. Bella's having housing issues. Mother-in-law shrugged. She'll stay briefly. But this is inconvenient with the baby and John's work. Nonsense. She pushed Bella into the guest room. We'll share this bedroom. I'll help with her baby, you focus on yours. Watching her dote on Bella's child, the grandchild she'd barely held thrice, understanding dawned. She knew about John and Bella. But you said your back hurt too much for childcare. This room was for my mom. Bella smirked behind mother-in-law as the older woman snapped. I've reconsidered. My house. My rules. My mother-in-law stood at the door holding the baby. Where's your compassion? Bella's going through tough times. What's wrong with helping? My back's fine now, I can handle childcare. Mom. I tried to argue but she cut me off. This is my son John's house. You don't get a say. She turned to my mother, Mrs. Reed. Make extra lunch. I'm exhausted from babysitting, wake us for meals. Bella yawned and waved at me, thanks for the hospitality. Sis. Been up since dawn, gonna crash now. The door slammed, making my blood boil. I called John, get home now. What's your problem? He snapped. Your mom moved Bella in. Chill. I dropped them off myself. She's staying with us, be a good wife and help out. I laughed bitterly. He wanted me to host his mistress? John. Whose name's on the deed? No one stays without my permission. Everything you own is mine after marriage. He growled. I decide who stays. Deal with it. The line went dead. After hours of strategizing, I hired an emergency nanny. Finding mom still tending my toddler. I hugged her. Go rest tomorrow. I'll visit you. With that leeching mother-in-law? I'm staying to help. Her warmth steadied me. This cozy life with my daughter, I'd protected at all costs. Lawyer consulted. Assets calculated. Divorce papers brewing. John strutted in that evening. I blocked him with our child, since you invited Bella. You pay all expenses. But we agreed you handle household costs. He protested. That was before freeloaders. I'm unemployed since pregnancy, no money left. He gaped, your savings. Gone. Pay your mistress bills yourself. Hearing commotion. Bella emerged clinging to John's arm. Am I causing trouble? Not at all. I chirped. John's replacing your crappy guest bed tomorrow, spared no expense. John tugged my sleeve but I continued, pick any luxury mattress online. Bella. Our treat. Later. The steady camera caught their whispers. Thanks for the fancy bed. John. When's your wife leaving so we test it? Deliveries tomorrow night. I'll get rid of her. Bella giggled, be gentle, I just had a baby. I summoned John. Feigning panic, my cards are frozen. Transfer your cash, need to pay the maternity center. Huh? Wasn't that money already paid up front? John asked. Looking puzzled. I casually replied. No. There wasn't enough in the card at the time. My best friend knew the person in charge. So we put it on credit. When he tried to borrow money from me, I firmly refused. He had no choice but to transfer all his cash to me right then. Now he could only use credit cards to buy anything for Bella. Seeing the money safely in my account, I held my daughter and went to sleep peacefully. The next morning, delivered packages filled our home. Bella had sweet-talked John into buying her numerous items last night. Let her enjoy this temporary happiness. With our house in disarray, I stayed in the bedroom with my daughter. Today, even my mother-in-law didn't come to help Bella with childcare. She left the baby in a stroller while supervising workers renovating the house. Ma'am, your baby's been crying non-stop. Aren't you going to comfort her? A worker asked. Without looking up from her phone, Bella answered. Babies shouldn't be held constantly. Let her cry it out. The infant's voice grew hoarse, but the workers said nothing more. When I went to get water, I saw Bella covering the baby's mouth to muffle the cries. I almost intervened, then remembered how this same child had pulled my oxygen tube in my previous life. Clenching my fists, I returned to my room. At noon, John rushed home to check the progress. Bella's new bed was nearly installed, though other furniture remained unfinished. Honey, why don't you stay at your parents' tonight with this mess? He suggested. I'd already noticed their lingering glances. Playing along, I gathered my daughter and left immediately. In his excitement, John forgot about tonight's important event. During dinner, my phone rang. You're not home? We agreed relatives would visit to see the baby today. It was John's aunt. The family gossip. Auntie, I'm out buying refreshments. Let me give you the door code. I dictated the numbers, smiling as I heard the keypad beeps and crowd noises through the phone. Then I messaged our neighborhood group, urgent. Water pipe burst. Can someone check? Immediate responses flooded in from downstairs neighbors threatening to sue for damages. After arranging childcare with my mother, I returned to our building. Shouts echoed from the elevator. Disgusting. Bringing your mistress home right after your wife gave birth. Neighbors scattered guiltily when they saw me. A downstairs resident approached. There's no leak. But your husband's with some woman, feigning disbelief. I rushed inside to find John and Bella half-dressed, surrounded by shocked relatives. John's aunt dragged me aside, breathlessly explaining, We heard noises from the bedroom and found this stranger. The feuding relatives had yanked the lovers from bed without letting them dress, creating a spectacle for arriving neighbors. Now the entire complex knew John had cheated during my postpartum recovery. John shielded Bella defiantly. Bella's been mine for years. She carried and bore my child too. Gasps filled the room, as people divided between comforting me and cursing them. Someone suddenly asked, "Where's the baby? We haven't hurt her." Panicked searching revealed the forgotten infant in a corner. The blue-faced baby lay motionless under thick blankets. Paramedics confirmed suffocation. When police arrived, I provided living room footage, cameras I'd secretly installed before leaving the maternity center. The video clearly showed Bella covering the infant's face before joining John. "John, I didn't mean to. I just wanted her quiet." Bella's confession stunned everyone. John mumbled, "Even if she wasn't yours biologically," the damning words sealed their fate during police questioning. After their confession to baby switching, everyone assumed the dead child was mine. 2 days later, I filed for divorce. Caught red-handed. John lost everything in the settlement. When he tried reconciliation, I changed the locks and dumped his belongings. His mother's attempts to claim assets failed miserably. Neighbors chased her off with brooms. Media exposure made John a pariah at work. Resigning in disgrace, he disappeared after the trial. As for me, let's just say karma's a patient teacher. And I've learned my lessons well. I blocked all of his contact information, cutting off every possible connection. Bella demanded to see me during visitation hours. When we met, she smirked arrogantly, "It doesn't matter. The day I walk out, I'll still live like royalty. But you, when you finally learn the whole truth, you'll completely lose your mind." Ha 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 ha. She still believed it was my daughter who died. I had to shatter that illusion. "The same day you switched the babies, I switched them back. You'll die alone with no one to care for you in old age." How fitting that you couldn't even recognize your own child. Watching her eyes glaze over with madness, I turned and walked away. Later I heard she lost her sanity completely, constantly clawing at herself until her body turned mottled with bruises, screaming about avenging her daughter. I took my daughter and mother to settle in a city with year-round spring weather. I'm raising her with all my love, shielding her from any contact with the Wilson family. This time, my precious girl, I'll protect you with every breath in my body. You'll never know that darkness. My beloved Lucy, I'll keep you safe forever.